Right here is the spot where I want to put the sand point down. And say what you want to say about well dowsing or well witching, but I'm telling you, I try to keep this thing pointing straight out in front of me, and it wants to turn right there every time. So this is the spot. The well witching, again, is hardly a proven science, but it makes me feel a little better about things, and I don't know if it's my wishful thinking that's causing it to do that, but by running this hole down right here, it's close enough to the house where I can build a utility room around it. I'm going to put it about 18 inches off of the foundation. In my mind, that's enough room to get a tank in here. So I'm going to dig a starter hole that in my mind is going to help prevent, I guess, breaking the threads off. So I'm going to try and get down 4 or 5 feet if I can. The actual sand point itself is about 40 inches, 36 inches long, and I don't want that first thread to break. And to me, that's going to be the Achilles heel in this whole process, is snapping the threads off of one of the joints as I try and push it with the backhoe. So I'm going to dig a starter hole. I'm going to set the pipe down in there as far as I can, and I may even put dirt around it and compact it again to take the stress off that fitting. I'm going to use Teflon on the fitting because my plan is to back flush the sand point with water. I'll get some potable water from town, bring it up here, and I'm going to back flush it, and then I'm going to pressurize it with my air compressor and try and get 150 to 160 psi to blow out the screen in the sand point. So I'm going to start by digging the hole. I don't know. Whatever. kill myself getting that in the ground. That's a 10-foot chain hanging off there. I've got a thread protector up on top. And I've got that, I backfilled around that because in my mind that's just going to be more strength around that fitting, making sure I don't break those threads off. So collectively I've got about 6 feet in the ground between 3 feet of the pipe and 3 feet of that sand point. I was able to dig down 6 feet, a little over 6 feet with the Seymour auger. I was just starting to hit rocks. And so who knows if I'm going to be able to push this thing down as far as I think I can. What my plan is now to do is to hook the bucket, the backhoe bucket, onto that hook, the chain right there, and try and pull it down in without jerking. I'm going to try not to jerk too much. I may need to go get another chain and put a little effort into it. We'll see what happens here. I think this is kind of a crapshoot, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, it's on.
Mindy, come here. We have to figure this out here. We have to work through your fears. Andrea?
Hey, she's got a pump up there.
This is the country.
That is a huge one. Not bring it over.
Look, you only hit me 3 times. That's not big of a deal.
No.
Mindy,
What?
don't be like your grandfather.
Don't talk to my grandfather.
Come and overcome your fears. I got him by the head.
Hit you 3 times.
I got him by the head. Come on, Mindy. Get over. Cal, you want it? Ah, what are you scared of there?
Don't let it go right there.
Sure. He'll eat your mice. He'll eat your mice.
She would rather have mice than snakes.
He's a big one.
Yeah.
For a water snake.
Yeah.
Get back here.
You got him.
Mindy,
No. Don't shoot him.
put him in the creek.
Yes. Whoa, that's
He's
a big
gone.
one. He's big.
Like the wind.
He's
Thanks,
fat.
Fred. So I tried to use the backhoe to pull it using that chain down into the ground. It's down. It went down about 6 inches, but it obviously wasn't sufficient, and the pipe was bending, and I was afraid it was going to bend, so I didn't want to damage the pipe. So what I did is I just grabbed the backhoe and decided to dig down as deep as I could, and then maybe set that sand point in there, backfill it, and then try pushing it. So this is approximately 11, 12 feet deep maybe. I keep switching the backhoe from side to side. The backhoe will technically reach down, I think 17 or 18 feet, but it never quite works out that way when you're digging straight down. But I'm gonna try. It's really hard clay that we're in right now, and so if I can get past that, there might be a chance. But I've concluded this is my last attempt. If I can't get this down in there, I'm just gonna pay the money to have a proper well drilled, even though it's gonna cost me about $65 a foot to have it done. But I'm gonna try one more time and see what happens. We got that sand point in probably 20 feet, but it's just so hard. I think I just broke the sand point off, bent the pipe. I'm done. I think I'm gonna pull this out of the ground, try and compact this. The only other thing I'm gonna try or consider, along with drilling a well, I'm gonna go ahead and try and drill the well and spend a bunch of money it's gonna cost me to drill a well. But the only other thing I'm gonna try is about, it's probably a half mile that way, is a spot kind of between two mountains that kind of come together. It's kind of a little draw, a little valley. And if there was gonna be water, that's the only other place I can think of that I could dig down and find a spring. But it's, I can't get the backhoe up there right now. It's too thick to get the backhoe back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the well drilled. I'm gonna stop messing around with this. I'm wasting time with this. The other thing that I am gonna do is I bought a little trailer, a little small compressor trailer, and I'm gonna get all the tools. I'm gonna get the welder generator mounted on that little trailer and get all the tools set up next week, so we can start framing. I think we're pretty close to getting our lumber delivered up here and starting framing. I do want to dig the septic system before and install that next week also, but I'm done messing around with the well. I gave it a valiant effort. I don't know what else to say. I've tried every which way but just drilling a dang well, and it's so frustrating because I walk around Minnie's and Terrell's property and they've got about a dozen springs just bubbling out all over the place. But whatever, it is what it is. I will probably pull this out of the ground and see if I did break the sand point off, but other than that, I'm gonna call it. Cedar's on our way up here with the kids for Rhett's birthday. We're gonna have a fire and eat dinner and stuff, but anyway, frustrating. The ground's just too hard for that sand point.